Hello everyone. So welcome to our podcast. We today have a very special guest, Swaleha Parveen. So Swaleha works at the cusp of cybersecurity and AI. So she is an AI and AI safety engineer working in research with AI Safety Camp. So welcome Swaleha to our podcast.
Thank you so much, Tribhadeep. It's so nice to meet you, and it's good to know that a lot of people, would get benefit from this from our conversation.
Absolutely. Welcome again. So to get started, Swaleha, I would probably request you to tell us a little more about your work. What does intersection of cybersecurity and AI means?
So, I work as an AI safety researcher. So, when you ask about the intersection, when we, say about cybersecurity plus AI safety, it focuses on how intelligent systems fail in real-world environments and how we as engineers can systematically prevent those failures. Like my work involves designing LLM evaluation frameworks, red teaming LLMs, and building tools like Safeguard LLM, which is like a guardrail tool, and many other tools like that to test the vulnerabilities such as prompt injection, data leakage, and adversarial manipulation. So, I started basically when you talk about AI safety, it's like from learning all these things in research and putting from theory to engineering practice, like treating in AI systems not just as models but as critical infrastructure that you and I need so that our systems are secure, they are monitored, and they are governed.
Wonderful. I think it makes a lot of sense. Well, what pulled you in this space? Was there any specific moment or any incident that made you venture in this space?
Yeah, so I was working inside the cybersecurity company named CrowdStrike. So when I was working there, I noticed something unsettling. Like there are a lot of AI systems that are being deployed faster than security frameworks could adapt. Like we have really good frameworks like NIST framework, ISO frameworks, OWASP top 10 for LLMs for agentic security. But before the frameworks are developed, there's an attacker who comes up and says that, okay, they'll try to basically control, do some prompt injection or something like that, and create very bad attack scenarios. So that was my turning point, and I could see that how easily LLMs can be manipulated. Like sometimes not just by these sophisticated attackers which you see around the world, but by simple prompts. Like using prompt injection and jailbreaking. So that's when I thought that AI safety is it's a very crucial area and that needs to be researched, and it's a good stock research topic for me to adopt into and learn how to deal with such real world security problems.
Great. Do you think there is any misconception probably organizations have about AI security and AI safety? And probably if you can detail out probably the biggest one that you think.
Biggest misconception? Let me think about it. Well, when you talk about misconception, like a lot of people think that AI safety is just about filtering bad outputs. Like you as a user, Shubhadeep says that, okay, he wants to make a bomb, he wants to attack a database, and it goes into LLM, and I am an engineer who is just trying to filter out all of these bad prompts. But in reality, all of those risks lie very deeper, like when we work in production environments, in data pipelines, model behavior, agent autonomy, and system level interactions. Okay, so these kind of risks lie very deeper in the production systems, and not just just filtering bad outputs. So many organizations, they assume that if a model performs well in demo scenarios in POC environments, it will perform well in the deployment environment also when it is in front of 10,000 and 50,000 users. But that's dangerously long. Like we have seen a lot of when MCP and AI agents were already hyped in the year 2025, we could see so many MCP servers being attacked, and they affected a lot of users. Their credentials, like their personal information, like address, their phone number, names, all of that were leaked. So I think that's a misconception about AI security, that it's just like simple things, but when you go deeper, it's a lot more than that.
Absolutely. I think this brings to the next question, which probably would be very aligned to what you just said. Do you think that the current cybersecurity frameworks, right, are they sufficient for the AI systems, or we are just forcing old tools into new problems?
As of current cybersecurity frameworks, we have so many cybersecurity analysts and security analysts use tools like Burp Suite. There are so many tools by different organizations, I would say by some from Masterclass and some CrowdStrike. But current frameworks are definitely not sufficient. Probably not entirely. They could be sufficient for 60 to 70% of the attacks. But as attacks are emerging, we as security people, AI safety people, we also need to come up with good frameworks. Traditional cybersecurity basically focuses on deterministic systems, but AI systems are more probabilistic and adaptive. You might have heard about the black box theory. We don't know what goes inside each neuron inside the black box of our AI. So when you're trying to apply all of these old techniques and tools to a fundamentally new class of systems, so that won't suffice. So we definitely need new hybrid frameworks that combine cybersecurity, ML evaluation, and AI governance. So all of these three things need to come together for us to basically see how we can deal with these attacks together.
Absolutely. I think this makes a lot of sense, right? We really don't know what's going behind, right? So there are so many, I would say, layers in between with so many neurons which are trying to make every decision which an LLM or any frontier model to make. And yeah, I mean, if we don't know what is going behind, how do we safeguard it? So we definitely need new systems. Thanks. I think that really enlightened us as we start safeguarding. Can you also tell me, like, which one or two AI risks today, right, which keeps you personally awake at night? Or maybe I would say that we should not be awake at night, but which keeps you really worried that, okay, this is something which we're not able to solve yet, but it's a great risk?
Well, when I think about it, it's like I studied about a lot of AI attacks and everything that goes behind it, and how to safeguard things. But one thing that actually keeps me awake at night is the autonomous AI systems making decisions without clear accountability. I think probably 1 month ago, this AI tool Moltbot, Cloudbot was released, and people like downloading and purchasing a lot of Mac minis and everything to run it on the system. It's like, okay, we have an AI agent which will run on our system, which will send automated phone, or automated everything on a WhatsApp, Slack, whatever. But people did not realize that because it's open source, it is also vulnerable to a lot of attacks. Like someone, I don't remember, but there was a hacker who hacked the GitHub profile of the creator, and if he injected any skills.md file or any random file inside that Moltbot or whatever, and everyone was downloading that repository. So if one bad file comes into that repository and you and I have downloaded it, we have just downloaded everything, like all of these kind of code, malicious code inside our system. So that keeps you at night, that when AI systems become agentic, they are capable of planning, executing, and optimizing, and the attack surface expand beyond code into intent, goals, and feedback loops. So that's a paradigm shift in risk. That's what keeps you awake at night, that something which we cannot see, which we cannot control. So that's why it's better to be, take precautions first before curing.
Absolutely. I think that makes a lot of sense. The reason being that a lot of us, right, we directly do a git clone and then we start running things. We really don't scan the open source code to understand what is inside that, right? We run it into our systems, we give it credentials, and at times we also give it our account details, right? So really, I mean, you actually nailed the point that yes, I mean, that is really a point of worry. So while we should be cognizant of the fact that AI is progressing, but also I think we should all be aware about the risks which comes in. Thank you. I think this makes a lot of sense. Well, moving ahead, right? I'm just changing my gears now. Now, let's say from the perspective of a business, right? Mm-hmm. So when AI systems fail in production, right, what goes wrong? I mean, is it the data, human, model, governance? So let's say sequentially, right? When something fails in production, right? What is the first thing that probably has gone wrong? Is it any of these or all of these or probably a combination?
Well, to think about it, I think usually governance and humans, not models. I mean, you might not agree with this, but usually, see, models, they are like, some part of them is deterministic, okay? Like if I have downloaded something from Olam or from Hugging Face, I know it's model card and everything, okay? Models really fail in isolation. Failures usually emerge when humans overtrust AI. Like, if I'm creating an AI agent and that AI agent is doing, like I am giving it a lot of the data, that, okay, this AI agent will book flight tickets, like search the web, on Make My Trip, it will book my flights, hotels, and I'm giving it all my payment credentials. I'm providing it with a lot of access. So failures emerge in those scenarios when human overtrust AI, when data is poorly curated, and when organizations lack clear oversight mechanisms. And all of these AI failures are socio-technical failures. So yeah, that would be my point, that whenever you are I pointed out that if you're downloading anything from GitHub, directly cloning from the repository directly, without reading a model card, we're just downloading that, okay, this is my friend made this repository, it must be good. But your friend might have uploaded it like a month ago, and after that, if someone did something inside that Hugging Face link or something, you don't know that, and you're just downloading it. So I think governance in humans, I would say, goes wrong, and instead of models.
Well, absolutely. I think we should also, as creators, we should also be very careful about the pull requests in GitHub. I think we should really, while merging the code, I think we should be very careful what probably has changed in the code. So a lot of time, what happens is that we have open source code and somebody identifies the issue. So there is a wonderful person in the community who says that I'm ready to help and fix this. A lot of times what happens is that due to bandwidth, time issues, once the code is probably fixed, we just do a check of the feature, and just accept the pull request, merge the code, but we really don't see what has been put into the code. So very pertinent point, I think. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, so how does AI change the traditional threat model? So this is from a red teaming perspective.
Okay, red teaming and red teaming tools. Yeah, this is also a good question. See, like when you speak about red teaming, like there's so many methods inside red teaming and tools we can go into, but we'll just stick to what our listeners can understand. Like AI turns attackers into false multipliers. That's like a very clear thing that I would like to say. Like a single adversary, like that can, like initially, like 5 years back, when people had no no knowledge of LLM attack models and everything, things were a bit simple for cybersecurity and AI safety people. But now a single adversary that can now generate phishing, malware, deepfakes, social engineering at scale. Like I'm giving that whole prompt to my Claude that okay, generate I would say that okay, I want to do it for research purpose. I'm an AI security person, and tell me how to generate a single adversary which will generate phishing and malware, deepfakes, and give me Python code for it. It will actually do. Okay, I mean, I would say still there are so many safeguards available at different LLM companies, but still, like if you have to, you basically write your prompt as an adversarial poetry or something like that, that from a learner's perspective, it will still give an answer. Okay, so at the same time, like defenders, so many people can use AI for detection, automation. The people on the blue teaming side, not from the red teaming, but of course, like these threat models become very asymmetric and accelerated.
Understood. Makes a lot of sense. I think there has to be some form of overhaul for the current threat models. Wonderful. Great takeaway for all who are listening to this. Now, moving to the AI agents, or we are seeing a plethora of AI agents. I think one you have also already mentioned that there is a social network sort of thing just coming out of the AI agents. But coming to the perspective that agentic AI, right, is something which is today very hot. People are using it. Enterprises, organizations are adopting it. Does it need a completely new security paradigm? If so, why? And if not, why not?
Well, a lot of news have been coming in this, agentic AI security thing. I would say you're right that agentic AI partially, I would like this partial answer that it does require a new security paradigm, because agentic AI, this introduces a lot more risk as similar to autonomous systems in aviations or robotics. Like you tell your robot to just, pick this mouse and place it there. But instead, it just, does more things, that it presses your keyboard, it shuts down your screen, it, turns on your microphone. So similar to that, we cannot trust these things just like that, because when we are giving an instruction to AI agent, like even if you use maybe like Claude or Replit, and you just tell it that okay, do certain things in the terminal, push my code to GitHub repository, and make files for testing, make files for this. But it sometimes it was like okay, it will generate front end code also, and it will delete some part also. Okay, so a lot of people because I have been part of Code SHQ and Amazon AWS communities, have seen like people who complain that okay, I gave my AI agent just one task and it did 2-3 other things and it deleted some part of the database. I'm like okay, like when you are working with an AI agent, you need concepts like controllability, you need bounded autonomy. As a user, you need to bound it to certain things, and you need kill switches. You need continuous verification. So traditional perimeter security is not longer enough, and of course, like as agentic AI develops in future, we will need a new security paradigm.
Great. I think clarifies a lot of issues why we are seeing so many drifts, probably control issues in agentic AI, and why we definitely need a paradigm which has to align with agentic AI. Yeah. Wonderful. So moving ahead, right? So should AI safety be treated as a compliance checkbox, a security control, or it is a continuous operational discipline? Where should this get placed?
I would say like AI safety is not a checkbox, or not even like a control mechanism, but AI safety should be like a continuous operational discipline. Like whenever you as a developer, you create your front end, you create your back end, you just run a security check that everything is running fine. You are like whatever your WebSocket is there, and you will go through a DevOps pipeline. You go through your CI/CD, and in a similar way like DevOps, SecOps. But so AI safety can be like a continuous operational discipline, like a part inside your whole developer cycle. And like some people are calling it safety ops for AI or something like that. Like once you do your front end testing, you do your back end testing, you just see that all of your issues are merged inside your GitHub file, and you also run a security scan. After that, you can run an AI safety check. Like you can see that all of your application or website, whatever you have built, it complies to AI security norms. Like there are EU Compliance Act, there are NIST, there are ISO 27000 compliance acts, like different. Like you're in India, you're in Singapore, like different governments are coming up with their own AI governance policies. So as the last step, or maybe as a middle step, whatever you seem right, so you can add it as a layer inside your whole development life cycle. That will be more easy.
Wonderful. I think makes a lot of sense, right? I think you just covered how the development should look like, and how probably the AI, the teams which are involved in AI development, right? How they should bring in the best practices of AI safety within their processes to ensure that whatever code or models they are churning out, those are safe. Great. I think we have covered development. Now I'm moving to deployments, right? So what role should red teaming, adversarial testing, continuous monitoring play in AI deployments?
I believe that because I'm coming from a cybersecurity background and I have interacted with a lot of security core people, so I'll speak in their language. That red teaming should be like really mandatory whenever you're deploying any app using either you're using open source models or closed source models. Because it's the reason I say it's mandatory, not optional, is because AI systems evolve after deployment. Okay, so static testing is useless. If I make a static website and test it, I'm like, okay, this is just 5 users and all. Okay, but because AI systems will of course emerge with after it deploys. Your website will attract probably like 10,000, 50,000 users. Then you will need to do continuous adversary testing. You will need real-time monitoring. You will need feedback loops. So AI security is like not a one-time audit that, okay, I have done my part, I've built my application, now it's done. It's sort of a living process. Like probably for responsible AI, you create a website and you see that, okay, there are 10,000, 20,000 users. You want to see that, okay, nobody is tweaking with your WebSocket. Nobody's kind of, trying to send you more monitoring package or something inside your web server. Nobody's trying to, twitch with it. So, it's like a continuous thing that you have to be aware of.
Absolutely. I think this is something we probably heard from you. And I think working on the similar paradigm, we also believe in this, right? That yes, as you rightly mentioned, that I think this should be something which all the teams post deployment, during deployment, should be making it as a part of the practice to ensure that they don't face a situation where their reputation or revenue is hit.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, just adding my 2 cents. It's like I created a website and I did all my security checks, governance check that, okay, it complies with this XYZ policy. Now it's done. And after 2-3 months, I see that, okay, there are 50,000 users, but some user is like also an attacker who's trying to do packet switching, some maybe trying to bring the website down, someone is trying jailbreaking inside my website. So now I see that, okay, that website is not available for the rest of the users because one user tried to manipulate things. So it's like I have to keep a continuous check. Like, not saying that daily, but probably like weekly, monthly, whatever you say. But we cannot just, deploy and forget. That era is gone.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you have rightly mentioned that. I think just to finally wrap it up, yes, if you have deployed a solution or a product which is basically for the external world and people are going to come to your website and you want people to come to your website, I think you need to keep a lot of care around what is happening in both in the front end and in the back end, right? Who is coming as a user, what are the activities they are doing, and how essentially your service is probably growing in terms of outcome and in terms of activity. So I think great points. Now I will probably switch the gear to a little more on the advisory side, right? So let's say you are advising a CTO or a CISO, right? And probably this is from the perspective of the fact that you are advising somebody who is in a banking financial sector, right? So what would be probably the 3 things? And sector is just something which I'm trying to build the context, but you can probably take any industry of your choice and probably tell me that what are the first 3 things that you would probably advise them to get started right?
You mentioned fintech market. Fintech people are, very, let's say, they maintain data confidentiality because that's their secret sauce. Yeah, if I would have to advise a CTO or a CISO, I would say just focus on 3 things: visibility, evaluation, and governance. If you miss, these are the most important 3 things. The visibility, knowing where AI is used inside your organization. If you are a CISO or maybe a CTO of a fintech company, you should know where all of your customer data, where it's being churned into, its data modeling is done. So where exactly it's being used, and then you will come to evaluation part. That testing models beyond accuracy, coming to the safety, robustness, and the misuse part. That whatever model your open source model or closed source model your team is using, so you need to ensure that it's safe, it is robust, and it's not being misused. Then comes the when things are built, and then comes the governance part, defining accountability before incidents happen. When you read about AI governance, you need to ensure as a CTO that you know where to keep your accountability for the product you have built, for the solution you're deploying, for the things your team is doing. That you cannot wait that, okay, something will happen, then we will do red teaming. No, before that, this adheres to the AI governance policies in whatever country you are in. So yeah, because if you miss these 3 things, then everything else is just cosmetic.
Great. I think the key points that you mentioned, let me just quickly summarize up. So I think it's more about proactively taking up safety as a measure instead of reactive methods, right? Where if an incident has happened, we're going to probably fix it, right? So I think instead of that, probably get started with being proactive. Also from the fact that, yes, we understand that that banking financial industry, right? So that's the industry which is very critical, highly regulated across jurisdictions. Yet I think that's also an industry where the new age AI can play a larger role. Right. So I think your points is very important, very valuable, probably for any of the probably the CTO or CISO is hearing us today. Then definitely, I mean, they would be able to bridge that gap which is currently there in the AI safety space with bringing in some proactive measures, right, to ensure that AI is safer, or the solution that they build using AI, or the service that they try to cater using AI is safer. Wonderful. Okay, now I'm going to shift the gears a little bit, right? And we will go to the part where the people who want to venture into cybersecurity, specifically in the new age where AI cybersecurity space is warming up, and we have AI safety as a new domain, which is basically getting built, right? So, what would be your suggestions to people, right, who are trying to achieve this skill, build this skill? So we can talk about in two parts, right? People who already have a cybersecurity background and want to venture in, and people who don't have cybersecurity background but want to venture in, right? So what would be your suggestions to them?
Got it. So, see, like I would start with people who who are into cybersecurity industry, or who are probably like trying to step in. So, see, beyond traditional skills, they cybersecurity professional, they need to learn machine learning fundamentals. They need to learn adversarial AI techniques. Like how LM models can be attacked. They need to understand system thinking and ethical reasoning. So, most of the people who are coming from cybersecurity background, they have already done basic certifications like CompTIA, CISO certification, or like there's a CISSP certification. So they come from a very good security perspective. They just need to see where to put all of these security skills inside the LM models or whatever AI, Gen AI, or whatever thing you're building. So if you're moving from a cybersecurity background or from a development background into AI safety, you can start with learning all of these things. There are so many, like if I just suggest some basic courses, like there are good courses from Blue Dot Impact. There's like a good website, Blue Dot Impact, where people can scroll through different courses. There's one AGI strategy course, then there's one, I think, technical AI safety course, and there's also one AI governance course and future of AI, something like that course. So if you just start with all of these cohort sessions and courses, and you get a good group and a mentor where people teach you, and then you can move towards all of these programs like UK government and US and people from the European region. They have introduced already good fellowships and programs for people who want to who have come from normal even engineering background, or after doing their undergraduate they want to move towards AI safety. They can go to maths program, they can go towards AI safety camp, like this SPAR program. There is this apart research, like I participated in a lot of apart hackathons. So if you just want to know that okay, what is happening towards what are people doing in the AI safety space. Someone is working towards mechanistic integrity, someone is working towards robustness, someone is working towards LLM, how to counter LLM brittleness, how to work towards the black box thing. So there are a lot of competitions where you get to interact with a lot of people, and that's how by participating in little hackathons, by working in certain courses, if you apply to a lot of of course, if you as a beginner, if I'm thinking as an absolute beginner, if I have just graduated outside my computer science course or any course, then I'll start building these after completing my Blue Dot courses, I'll start building small projects and then showcasing these to my people in my fellowship. Either if I'll join a maths, SPAR, or any program. Like I think for an absolute beginner, if you just apply to 20-30 fellowships, then you'll get selected in at least 2. So just keep applying. That's the best part. And I think after doing some projects, internships, people can just very easily get a very good Anthropic has a fellowship for AI safety, and I think OpenAI has also very good fellowships going on, because I think even 1 year back when I was transitioning from cybersecurity to AI safety, there are people who are I think in a lot of countries, like in UAE we have AI safety UAE community, in Singapore there's another group there. So search for the best group inside your country who are into AI safety, and then talk with those people, make them your mentors, and discuss your projects, your hackathon and everything with them. And they'll I think that's the best part. If you're into a cohort or a group where you discuss that, okay, Shubhadeep has built a directive tool, Swaleha has built an LM evaluation tool, and how can this tool be of use to other people who are doing AI safety research or something, then I think that's how the things transition for me. Like I was building a guardrail tool for named Safeguard LLM. I think it was in a very beginner stage, and I shared it with the Coders HQ platform. I shared it with the AI safety community, and they told me that okay, how to make it better. Then I met a professor in high colleges of technology, and she told that she's also working in the AI safety domain itself. Then we thought that okay, it's a good idea to make it from a small MVP project to a good research project, and then we were able to write an IEEE paper on that. So things do not start that okay, one day you wake up and you transition into the AI safety job. It takes a lot of time. It maybe 6 months, 7 months for someone. It could be 1 year for someone. But I think the best part is to just get started with high hopes and with hard work and start move your way up there.
Absolutely. I think thank you so much. I think this is very valuable for somebody who is either coming from the cybersecurity stream or is probably someone who has worked in the AI or normal technical programming stream and would like to venture into AI safety. So I think you have structured programs which are available. I also heard you saying that okay, there are specific company programs and fellowships which are also valuable, but probably if you have built some projects, then it is easier to get into those fellowships. And once you get into the fellowships, I think the world is yours, right? So if you can start contributing anywhere where probably your specific expertise and heart is, maybe it's mechanistic interpretability, or you want to just focus on gradual disempowerment, or you would like to go into the area of catastrophic, I would say, control of any catastrophic disaster. So any of these areas can be yours, but as you rightly mentioned, right, it's not something which you woke up in the morning and say, I want to do it. But yes, you have to wake up in the morning, you have to learn about it, put your hard work, and then ensure that you would definitely reach your goal where you want to be. Thank you so much. I think this was very valuable for anybody who is planning to switch the career into AI safety, or probably would like to gradually move from cybersecurity, traditional cybersecurity to AI cybersecurity. Okay, now I'm into my final question for the day. So fast forward 5 years, right? What does secure and trustworthy AI, right, actually would look like in practice? And we all know that we'll not hold you for this. We all know it's a very it's a field which is changing probably every 2 days. Some new things come out. Every 1 week we see a new framework coming out. And if a month passes by, I think there are many frameworks which are lost because those are no more, I think, relevant for the new systems which are probably available.
So if I would have been, like in my naive 2020 era when I was learning about LLMs, I would just say, okay, bro, AGI will come soon. But yes, to the question, but I'll answer it, from an AI security perspective. That see, secure AI after 5 years, like we are already in 2026, and we have seen what happened from 2021 to 2025. Like in 5 years, so many things changed. We started from base LLM models, then we went into Gen AI, we went into MCPs, we went into agents, and now we have this whole social network for agents. Agent is doing everything. So, I mean, you and I, of course, we cannot predict what will happen in 5 years, but from a security perspective, I can answer that. Secure AI will look like models that explain decisions, like your model will tell that why it did certain thing, like, why it performed a certain task or action that you asked it to do inside your prompt. Then systems that self-monitor risk. Like if we can build, from a team of red teaming individuals, blue teaming individuals inside security side, if they can build things like proper agentic systems that self-monitor risk, like before deploying, just running a security check that it's like compliance. Okay, this is like compliant, and then going, then building very good building in team red teaming pipelines where we know what is happening. Then regulatory grade transparency, like building transparent systems. And probably in 5 years that would be possible. That we are not looking into the black box theory that okay, we don't know what's happening inside these neural networks when they're doing these encoder decoder thing inside transformer. Probably by 5 years, if we are able to achieve AGI, we would be able to know that okay, this what's actually happening inside. And I think like what you asked, that okay, trustworthy AI in 5 years, and trustworthy AI this won't be defined by the promises but by measurable safety guarantees. So yeah, that's my final answer for this.
Wonderful. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think as you rightly mentioned that promises can be broken, but metrics are the real, I would say, are probably the real black and white stuff which should probably tell us what is right and what is wrong. And probably it would tell us how far we have traveled in terms of AI safety. Wonderful. I think probably after listening to this podcast, people will have a clear understanding. At least I have had a clear understanding about how AI safety works, what cybersecurity for AI is, and how probably can someone venture into this field, right? Thank you so much, Swaleha, for your time today. And I think many of our viewers who will be viewing this would definitely thank you for explaining to them in a very simple way how the whole thing in AI safety works.